The only time I ever get kicked out of stores was just because I was like a kid. They were like,
Stop
they were like,
stealing.
"What are you doing, this Raymore and Flanagan? Like, you can't buy a couch. You can't afford one of these. What are you furnishing in a studio? Like, what's going on here?"
How you would only go into Bob's Furniture just to get the free cookies.
But they liked that, and honestly, it paid off because every time I ever thought of furniture from then going forward, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to Bob's."
So when you finally bought
So when
your
I
furniture,
bought a couch and bought a rug, I went to Bob's.
a long-term investment on you
It-
with the cookies.
Yeah, it was. They played the long game. Raymore and Flanagan got none of it.
Did work on that song for about a year and a half.
One of them is going to be world premiered right here.
Threw them at my face and said, "Hold these, pussy," and ran out.
Freaking SWAT
Helicopters
guy
and
coming
shit.
down.
All right, Danny, we did this kind of backwards today. We got to tell the people who you guys are and everything.
Oh, yeah.
that's an important part. Welcome back to the Picky Boys podcast.
Hello.
We got some new faces today. Let's go around. Let's
Go around.
show them how it's done.
I am Danny, and
Oh, that's true. You don't do anything.
yeah, I don't do anything. I don't know why you always tell me to start. I have nothing to offer.
It's a good flow.
He's Danny, and he's an expert in cookies from Bob's Discount Furniture.
Perfect.
And all free things, really.
All right, let's tell them who you are.
I'm Chris. I am the guitarist and sometimes vocalist for Manic Blue.
I'm Chris, and I am the vocalist and sometimes guitarist for Manic Blue. Not really. I absolutely suck at guitar, but I do sing.
You can tell him your name, too.
I'm Gabby. Did I not say that?
No, you said you're Chris.
You said you're me.
Oh, I'm Chris.
And together, Manic Blue.
Manic Blue.
I'm Antonio. I don't do anything either. Don't worry about it. Let's start. Let's start this picnic though. How did you two meet? What made you two start it?
Well, we met because, I'm sure you know, my brother might have mentioned, I'm in a band with him also in Dead by Choice. It's like, I guess, more of a harder rock, metal, more almost metal sort of sound. But I was at the studio at Mixerhead Studios. I don't know if you have like a thing where you put like his at Mixerhead.
Like to Mixerhead Studios.
Mixerhead Studios. Great friend of mine, great friend of ours, Dave Raidman was there, and he was recording one of our songs. Actually, it's Treading Water, which is on the Dead by Choice Spotify. But we were doing a mixing session, and I was there, and Dave's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have Gabby come down." I was like, "The fuck is Gabby?" And he's like, "You know Gabby." I'm like, "No, I don't." he's one of those guys. Like everyone he knows everyone he knows everyone he knows.
Yeah.
I guess. So, I'm sitting there mixing. I'm like, I don't want this weirdo in my damn session right now. I'm in the zone here. I'm trying to focus. So anyway, this shows up. And the first thing she does is she goes to use the restroom, and it's lacking in supplies. So she comes into the studio and asks Dave for twiffle paper. I happened to have eaten on the way there, and I had a shit ton of napkins. So I was
Nice.
I was like, hey, let's forge a friendship over this.
Yeah,
and I handed her napkins for twiffle management, and
What a hero.
The rest is history.
Yeah, it's a hero.
So that's actually for real how we met.
And then a band was formed.
A van was
Yeah,
formed.
real story.
actually the band was formed later in the year, even
Like
it wasn't
6
even-
months later.
That's quick.
Yeah.
It was I was out somewhere. I think it was heading to it's Brooklyn, not Blue. I was heading to Blue Point Brewery for whatever reason, and I got a text from Dave Raidman, from the same guy, and he's like, "Hey, I need you for a show. I have a friend's birthday party in a week, and I don't have anyone to play it." And I was like, "This fucking guy, like a week, really gonna give me no notice for this?" So I thought he was asking if Dead by Choice would play. So I was like, I'm out. I don't want to do it. But it turns out he was like trying to put together like an all-star band, which is an even more ridiculous concept with only a week to prepare. So my brother's on the text, so I text him separately. I'm like, "I'm not doing this. No way." And he convinced me. He was like, "No, you got to do it. It'll be fun. It'll be a great time. We got to help Dave out." I was like, "All right, fine." I begrudgingly joined in, and I was like, "Fine, I'll freaking do it." And then he left the band after that, like, after a few shows. He convinced me to get into the band, and then he left the band. Well, actually, we threw him out.
We did.
We did. It's a bit of a story. It was like drama. He was like, he comes up to me one day and he's like, "Listen, man, I've been thinking, and I really don't think I have time for it. I don't think I want to be in the band anymore." So I talked to Gabby, and I'm like, we gotta get rid of him. We can't have a guy with that kind of attitude. And
It starts bringing everybody else down.
toss him out of here if he wants out of the band. Can't have him in here.
Yeah. I remember we actually started rehearsing, I think 3 or 4 days before the show.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's no time.
It
That is no
I
time.
didn't believe it was possible, and it probably wasn't. It was terrible. But I walked into the room. I had no idea what I was walking into because I didn't know until that point who was going to be in this band. So I walked in. I remember seeing Chris's face. I knew Ted from seeing him around the studio, and I just walked in, and that was it. And 3 days later, we played our first show, and 6 years later, we're writing music. So
Wow, that's great.
Wait, so you guys met that day, and then you were part of an all-star band. So then what were you a part of before? Or they just knew you were a good singer, so they brought you on?
I was just a singer musician from the studio. I would go in there every once in a while and just record some vocals and piano or whatever. And Dave said, Gabby's a singer and these other people play these instruments. And
She's downplaying it a little bit. She actually has this song called Daisies that's absolutely phenomenal, and I can't wait to have Manic Blue re-record it. But she recorded it on her own, wrote it on her own, and it's just an amazing song. She's a great musician. Don't let her think she's just some weird floater who's just like singing around the studio.
Free, but yeah, well, thank you. Well, I did work on that song for about a year and a half. So hopefully, I think it's still not done. But you know what? It's still good.
I'll finish it.
Yeah, you'll finish it.
So you said Dead by Choice was like more of a harder rock. What genre is Manic Blue fall into? Just like
I would say rock.
just rock.
Just proper rock.
Proper rock.
Yeah.
And your brother's not wasn't scared or nervous that you were starting a new band, or?
Nah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think there was any like fear or nervousness about it. I think he like from like a big brother sort of perspective was just like you're wasting your time. Devote all your time to Dead by Choice, Like he actually wanted Gabby to learn bass and join Dead by Choice, but not sing.
Yeah.
Which would have been a weird thing
Yeah,
for a
he was
singer
like,
to do.
why don't you take what you do good and throw that shit away and you don't need it anymore.
But we haven't even mentioned the fact that Chris's brother is Picky Boys alum, DJ Johnny Bombs.
Yeah. He was like, and what you're going to do after that is you throw your voice out the window and you're going to pick up the bass and you're going to learn the bass and you're going to play with Dead by Choice. And I was like, sick, bro. That's going to work. Yeah.
High five.
Awesome.
Down for it.
Yeah.
Well, you empty? I saw you reaching for stuff.
Yeah,
I caught you.
Yeah.
So
we got all
difficult.
the fixings over here, right? Yep.
I think so.
Everything's a problem with you.
It is. Am I going to get thrown out of here too? Is this?
No.
Over the weekend, I was in Massachusetts.
So?
And, yeah. So I'm moving there and quitting the podcast.
That'd be only good.
No, but I went to a Patriots game, and they lost. First time they lost in since 2017.
You got to read the room first.
I don't care.
How we feel? Patriots fans? No, boo, yes, bad, don't care.
Indifferent.
Not sports.
Indifferent.
I just don't. Why'd you look at me when you said not sports?
I was general.
You
That-
pig.
He's not even
Sexist
sports.
You are a pig, sir.
He's not even in sports. I don't know.
But so that's not. It's not even really about the sports though. So I was I'm a Jets fan, so I was sitting in a room of enemies, and it was really cold. So against everything in my body, every urge I had, I decided to buy a Patriots hat
Oh my God!
to
Wow.
cover my ears because it was really cold. And
Can't suffer with it for your team.
and everybody in my section was very passionate. And every time they'd score, I still think they kind of still believed I was on their team because I was wearing the hat. I wasn't, cheering, blah, blah, blah. But then I sent out a Snapchat that was like, took a picture of the field and it said enemy territory. And then I heard the guy behind me goes, "Hey, I don't think this guy's a Pats fan." and I was like, "Wait, what?"
Oh man.
And he didn't act on it because I wasn't actively rooting, against them. But I was afraid that I was gonna have to, start something
Oh man.
Get kicked out of the
because
stadium.
my cover was totally blown.
Yeah.
But they lost, so he didn't do anything.
He was behind you too, right?
Yeah, he was
That's
behind
tough.
me.
Like being behind someone on being in front of someone on an airplane, or being in front of someone on a movie theater that's causing problems. That's like the worst situation.
Yeah.
Because if you're behind someone, you could say something because now you could watch them the whole time. But if you
Yeah.
say something from the guy behind you, you get soda all over you.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
don't
Get
even see it
get
coming.
some beer on your head or something.
Yeah, it's the worst thing ever.
Yeah, can't even enjoy the game or anything. You just gotta
Yeah.
turn around in
Keep
your
looking
seat
over
and
your
just
shoulder.
stare at the guy.
You could keep Snapchat selfie mode on the whole time, just like
Yeah, just
like-
like my rear view mirror. just
Yeah.
like-
Always watching them.
no, that would have been more bad. He'd been like, "What the fuck you taking a picture of?" um,
So singer, right? And guitarist.
Guitarist, and honestly, all the instrumentation we kind of just trade it all between us. I do most of it. I'll say that she does most of the singing. I do most of the instruments, but we trade off keyboards, bass, drums, all of that stuff. So
Chris comes up with the. I guess if I have an idea, I'll bring it to him and I'll say, hey, I was playing around with the guitar and I these 4 chords really speak to me and I suck at guitar, so I don't know what else to put behind it, and I'll be like, I want it to sound like, but I don't know how to do that, so why don't you do it for me? And then it kind of evolves from there, or he'll bring down something that he wrote maybe like 20 years ago, and he'll say like, I'm an idiot because I don't know how to write music. It's been 20 years and I don't know what to do with this song, so then I'll come up with something for him.
I mean, since we're throwing each other under the bus,
Oh yeah, I saw his face.
that particular song that you were humming, you didn't come down and say, "Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun." You were like, I don't know, play some bluesy shit with some slidey parts in it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I always wonder what is the process of. I mean, it may change per song, but like, what is the process of? Do you write lyrics first, or do you like some lyrics that speak to you, or do you write like a chord progression of some sort? Like, what comes first in that process, or does it just kind of all jumble together?
I almost never write the lyrics first, only because I don't want to have to. And you could always tell, or at least I can tell, when a songwriter has tried to squeeze some lyrics. Try to squeeze a sound into lyrics that just kind of don't fit. It's like, change your lyrics because like it just doesn't sound right. It's a little choppy, or they squeeze like 14 words into 2 counts because they just don't know what to do. I'll put my lyrics in after I've committed to the sound, only because I don't want to have to literally squeeze words into.
Gotcha. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
That's what I thought happened, but I don't know.
Yeah, every song I've written, I've done it that way.
Yeah.
I write the music first, and then I see, when I'm writing the music, it's usually like reflecting a mood or a feeling. And then when I have this kind of like centralized, purified essence of a song that I'm listening to, playing back some demo version of it, that's when like I start like seeing like, all right, where can I pull words from? Where's my inspiration for this? And that's why some of the songs are I don't know about 20 years old, but maybe 20 years old. Because like I'll have like a stale idea, or have lyrics I wrote when I was like 15 or something, and like they're kind of crappy and the vocal melody is garbage, and I'll bring it to her and I'll be like, oh, come up with something fresh for this, and then she'll have a really good outlook on it. So that's pretty cool.
So any new projects, releases coming up?
Yeah, actually, last year we released 3 songs. They're on Spotify. Can we do like a thing?
Buy our
Spotify
product.
here, down in the comments.
Do whatever you want to.
I'm just gonna point at random stuff. They're gonna have to put links over here.
Yeah.
Spotify right over.
That's essentially what he used to do anyway. Future Antonio. It's
gonna be like,
time.
But we just went into the studio earlier this year and recorded 3 more to follow up the original 3, and we recorded at Mixerhead Studios. Bing.
Bing.
Sent it down to Billy Hume. Sent the stems down to Billy Hume at Moonshade Hollow. Bing. And then when we got the mixes back from him, we sent it to Howie Weinberg, who is an industry legend. If you've heard a song, he's probably mastered it. But to Howie Weinberg, bing. And then we're in the process of getting our masters, just right. And I think we have the second round. And we actually, we that's the one you guys are probably leading us to here. But we have 3 songs. They're not released yet. And I think they're going to be, one of them is going to be world premiered right here on the Pick Boys podcast.
Boys podcast. That's cool. And what is that one called?
I forget which one we said.
It's called Ice. And I think the reason why we chose to premiere it here today for you guys was it kind of sort of showcases our direction as far as writing music. So we decided that we wanted to we had a better shot of writing more accessible music. In other words, more relatable. Maybe you'll be able to hear it on like a radio station that's not necessarily Z100, but not necessarily XM radio. Kind of one of those. And we want to be able to relate to more listeners, and that's how ICE was born. My idea for ICE was to have a sort of hip hop drum and bass sound, like backbone to it, because that sort of what was popular when we wrote it, and it reminded me of my muse for the song, and we sort of touched upon I guess different genres, and we came up with ICE, and it's kind of a little bit of everything.
What inspired the lyrics?
Some dumb fuck that I was dating. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's always how it goes now.
Yeah.
A lot of Gabby's lyrics are about people that I most of the time just cannot fucking stand.
Yeah, he actually he was at my apartment last night, and he had a little bit too much rum, and he was sitting there, and he was showing me, like, he had his phone out, and he was like, these things are just so poetic. Like, I want to show you this comic that I really like. And
Watchmen,
good
Yeah.
comic. He's like, just I can't find the order. I can't find the comic cell strip. So click this page first, and then go to this page, and then that
a
one.
lot of rum.
Yeah. And then he was like, this is how I really feel right now, and I can't believe that person hurt you, and I really loathe that person.
How the hell did I link that to Watchmen?
How do you do anything you do? I don't know.
How did you link that to Watchmen?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys are familiar with that particular comic, but I was talking about like Dr. Manhattan's monologue for all of the nerds out there that might be watching or listening.
Dr. Manhattan is terrifying.
Yeah, but he has that monologue. Actually, it's my. That's probably why I brought it up. Is it's the lock screen on my phone here, but it's where he's perceiving time kind of non-linearly, and somehow that has to do with one of your ex-girlfriends, I guess.
We were talking about I don't know, I guess people who've heard us, and he was looking at that photograph, and he was thinking about his wife or something.
Oh, all right. Yeah, it was. Yeah. I don't think
Go
it was
ahead.
that.
Read it
what
for
I-
the nice people.
I'll just read the one quote that I have on my phone that probably made me. I keep I keep face unlocking my phone as I'm trying to read my lock screen here.
Just to cover it.
Cover the camera. But the quote is, for the people that do know, or the people that don't know, rather, I'm tired of Earth, these people. I'm tired of being caught in the tangle of their lives, which is kind of antisocial now that I think about it. But yeah, I guess that's one of the people I'm tired of. And I was caught in the tangle of that person's life. So
And we're gonna
that's
name
probably-
drop here. Bing. Yeah.
No name drop.
No, he had tears, but tears of anger. Like he was like,
Wow.
oh,
You?
yeah,
Strong tears.
I did.
yeah.
Yeah,
Those are strong.
tears.
Actually,
They come out flexing,
yeah. He's actually he's allergic to my cat. It could have been that's why, but
Well, that's
Yeah,
true.
that's what I
Yeah,
would have blamed it on that, I'll be
Yeah.
honest.
Totally.
You want to listen to it?
Sure.
Down for it?
I don't want to hear that shit
We just
again.
gotta leave.
Yeah, how many times must
That's
you
true.
unless you listen to this? I mean, I can only imagine even like video editing.
You know
Watch
the-
video over 1 billion times.
Like the 100,000 hour rule. Like if you've practiced something 100,000 hours, like
10,000.
10,000.
I thought it was
10,000,
100,000.
Like 100,000 hours.
That's-
Fuck, I'm
yeah.
never gonna be good at
too
it.
much.
I'll never do
That's
it.
true.
It's like I'm 90 years old and I'm finally good at it.
And then just it's over.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about listening to our music. It's this is it. This is as good as it's gonna get. I don't know what else to do here.
That's not true. Stay tuned next year when we release 3 even better songs.
The real problem is why, like, we've all listened to it. The real problem is I need space on here that we are listening to it to play it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I'll play a couple I'll play a bit just for the edit, and then I'll leave links and everything.
Sure.
It's usually the best way to do it.
Yeah, I always wonder, what would you guys play? What would, like visually, what would you play over when the song is playing? Like,
Well, it depends if we did the whole thing or not, but it'd essentially just be us mouth talking about it, like us here, and they don't hear us, they hear this because I just play it for them.
There are some times I wish I was more than a girl. A hero, a villain, doesn't matter to me. As long as I can give you the world, I'd put on my super suit and go after the moon. I would come back broken and tattered, but I'd smile for you. The next night, while you're tucked away tight in a slumber of cotton and silk, I will smoke my last cigarette and rid my body of filth. Clad in duct tape and super glue, I will try again for that moon. And when I return, my body will burn, but I tell you I'll get it soon. In this moment I have hope, but I'm powerless over you. So shine your lights, 'cause I'm drowning in this sea. Nobody here to take me home, and they don't know what I need.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
That
I
works.
just want to have long hair so I can banger.
That works for us. You know?
You're right there.
I don't know.
You're gonna cut yourself. Even this thing.
I don't know why this is not getting under this. I've never had this problem before.
Listen, it's not your fault. You're inept. You were born this way.
All right, then do it then. I bet you can't do it either.
I bet you I can. I bet you I'm a problem solver.
Oh.
Solve
See?
that problem real quick.
Told you.
Oh, wow. That was right. Fucking,
Thank you. Who did it hit?
Thank you very much.
Oh, it hit it? Oh,
It reminds me. No, it hit me. I didn't feel it. It hit my headphones and it bounced right back into the
goal.
the gold mine of
The
singles.
gold mine.
Dude, perfect, bro.
Yeah. Do that again, Chris.
Yeah, really.
Yep.
That reminds me of that time that you tried to hit me with cheese, but you failed because I caught it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
You know what reminds me of the time I threw the ball at you? No, you threw the ball at me and you missed, and you hit the lady in line at Target.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did well with the cheese, though.
You did. You did.
What kind of
you did.
cheese? Cheddar?
No, mozzarella.
Oh, well, you wasted mozzarella?
What were you trying to do? You're trying to just like.
Well, I like to just throw things at her. I just look at her face and
catch them.
I just want to. You didn't catch the bottle cap. That's why we're even
That's
talking
true.
about this.
That's good.
So you had a mozzarella cheese and you went,
Yeah.
oh.
We were in my apartment. I had a cheese. I was eating one myself, and I was like, you know what? Gabby appreciates cheese, so she's a fellow paisan. So I went to the I guess it's a dining room. That area. It's like part of my kitchen. I don't know. I went to the dining room, right through the friggin' wall. Well, because there's an opening in the wall. I didn't throw it through the wall. Hold on. This is not some diesel brolic cheese I'm throwing through sheetrock.
Meteor cheese.
So I throw it through the opening in the wall, and as it's airborne, I think is when she looks at me, and she just looks and goes and catches it and just like stares me down, and then opens it and starts eating it. I was like, all right, well,
You lost that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I think I have a video of that.
You do.
Yeah, you should have a video of you hitting the lady in line with the ball, but you probably wouldn't want to show that to anyone because you're embarrassed
Yeah.
at what an inept individual you are.
Yeah.
So,
Did you say something cool when you caught the cheese?
No, but I ate it, and I think that was
I think that's cool.
that was a highlight.
You're right.
enough.
That's cool enough.
Yeah.
That's cool enough.
That was a proud
Or
moment.
just like a thanks,
Yeah. It made a nice like a cheese sound when it hit my hand. It was like splat.
yeah, I think you said something like this, like decidedly not cool. I think after you caught it, you were like, "Did you see that? Did you get that on video?"
No.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's probably what I would say too. That's because I can't catch anything.
No,
though.
you just get hit in the face
Yeah,
by
I'd
the
be like,
cheese.
oh, jeez.
Ah, cheese.
Yeah, I mean, if I got hit in the face with mozzarella and it landed on the couch or on the floor, I'd probably still eat it anyway.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's fine.
You're not gonna waste cheese. No
Yeah.
one wants to do that.
Can't waste cheese.
Danny, I'm going to tell them I couldn't catch. Danny was very drunk one time in a deli.
All right.
And he wanted a bag of chips. And we threw him a bag of chips. Just nailed him right in the head. And then he just almost crying goes, "Oh man, I couldn't catten it."
I don't even remember this.
That's the same time. That's the same time that the stranger walked in, grabbed a bunch of chips, and threw them at my face and said, "Hold these, pussy," and ran out.
There's a lot of chip throwing that night.
Where is this deli?
Dude, it's talking down the block.
Is it like this all the time?
Yes,
It actually
because
is.
it's in between like
call
3
it,
bars.
We call it the best bar because it is not a bar at all. It's just a deli that happens to serve a beer that we drink inside, and we call it the best bar. And it's always filled with some degenerate. Always.
Yeah. Well, what am I gonna do? I already got hit in the head with the chips. I couldn't catch them. Yeah, I guess.
There's a lot of chip throwing that night.
What are you gonna do? How did I get? What happened? How did we get here? How did we
I
Cheese.
Right.
very skillfully
Right.
whizzed her in the head with the whizzed.
Whiz
I
cheese.
whizzed you in the head with cheese whiz with the bottle cap.
Cheese whiz, man. I don't like it.
You don't like Cheese Whiz?
No.
Dude, you just house cans of whipped cream.
That's true.
It's the same
It
thing.
is not the same thing.
It's the same like.
Whipped cream's delicious and sweet and fluffy. Cheese
Can we
whiz is
talk about
weird.
whipped cream for a second? Have you guys ever looked at like the nutrition facts on whipped cream?
I'm too afraid to.
It has like no, that's what I was. I was like, one day I was eating it. I was, taking mouthfuls of whipped cream right out of the Ready Whip bottle, and I was like, all right, you know what? I want to know how badly I'm killing myself here. And I looked at it. It's like no carbs, no calories. It's like nothing. I don't know what the hell is in it.
That's probably worse than what
It's
is
just
it?
magic.
It's like
Special sauce.
it's like not to promote it, but certain non-Pepsi brand of soda Zero here.
I like Coke Zero.
Yeah, me too.
It's like how though? It tastes exactly like regular Coke. Like,
No, it's better.
it's better. Yeah, I don't know, but it's like how
Yeah,
how
I-
is this zero? How is
I
this
agree with you.
like it's nutty? What is
Yeah.
going on?
I do think that personally, I think Diet Pepsi mixes the best with drinks. If you're trying to do like a, like instead of a, people at the bar like, can I have a seltzer, vodka seltzer? It's like that's the worst drink that's ever existed.
Yeah.
A vodka seltzer is the worst drink that's ever existed.
Watered down
Also,
vodka.
vodka water. People just order vodka water, which is just like,
I would
what,
rather-
are you a sociopath? What,
Yeah,
what is happening?
100%.
I'd rather that though.
They
Yeah.
they put the milk first before the
Oh, for
cereal.
sure.
For sure.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Oh God.
I
do.
actually, yeah, I don't like whipped cream.
Okay,
All right. Yeah.
let's move on from that.
Get her out. Right. I don't.
I don't like all brands. I'm very specific. You can't have a Cool Whip around me. That's weird. Scooping it from a container.
Oh, you mean a container?
Yeah.
You need
no.
the ready
I
whip.
need the Ready Whip.
I'm with you on the Ready Whip. They have a Reese's Ready Whip. I can talk about whipped cream all day. It's like one of those things I could just keep talking about, like maple syrup. Like I do shots of maple syrup. I usually line them
Yeah.
up for friends and I don't tell them, or I'll
You just don't like whiskey
I'll
or something.
I'll bring like a whole tray of shots out, and like regular shots, like whiskey or rum or whatever rum, because I'm a maniac. But I say that because rum tastes terrible as a shot. It's garbage, but I do it all the time. And I'll make one of the shots, or 2 or 3, depending on how I feel or how drunk I am, just straight maple syrup.
Yeah,
I won't tell anyone, and I'll just like let the lotto handle it. Let them randomly get it.
Well, at least, right? You've never gotten one.
If I got one, I'd be happy.
yeah.
I'd be thrilled. I'd be like, oh man,
This
good
is
day for me.
This is an unfair game you're playing.
That's hilarious. Imagine somebody's so drunk they just think like, "Whoa, this is good shit."
Yeah.
I don't have to imagine it. I gave it to I had a bunch of my friends over, and I did this trick and trick.
This
like
trick.
a magic trick. I fooled Penn and
Like
Teller
David
with this once.
Copperfield.
And one of the people there was my friend Derek, and he's
out,
no
Derek.
no ding, no ding. Maybe ding. Is he on Instagram? I don't even know.
Yeah, who cares?
He's on Instagram, but a little
Let's
bit.
just put a Derek. The
Just
name
a little.
Derek.
Just put Derek.
Little bit of luck, Derek.
Bing. Yeah, so I gave everyone the round of shots, and he was already a little bit drunk because he can't. Sorry, Derek. He
I mean-
can't.
Well, he's what is he? What is he now? 4'11"?
He's a little guy.
What is he now?
He's a little guy. So he saves money on drinking. I'll give him that. I'm envious of him there. But I gave him that. He got the shot. He got the syrup shot, and he put it back, and he was like, "Oh wow, this is sweeter than I remember."
Yeah.
Like, it's thicker. Like, and then I gave him another one. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep giving him to Derek. Just kept giving him the shots of syrup. He kept drinking them.
He passes out. We're like,
Yeah.
how did he pass out?
Derek is actually hospitalized, right? He's in a sugar coma. But
Jeez.
I think I might be the only one that just I mean, as his friend, I've taken several shots of maple syrup.
It's been a thing.
Yeah, but I think I'm the only one
It's a
that
problem.
yeah, probably the only one that just takes it and doesn't have a reaction. Because like I'll just go over and I'll be like,
Oh, man.
You take away
Take
his power.
Yeah,
You take away his power.
walk
so
away.
frustrating.
Yeah.
You know? I feel
like,
like
oh.
an 80s supervillain, like, rats, fooled again.
He's watching too, like,
Yeah,
oh
it's
yeah,
like, it's maple syrup. Nice.
give me another one.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta start buying jars of maple syrup. Yeah. Or jars, bottles. I don't know. What is maple syrup kind?
A bunch of things.
I've said both.
What's
Yeah. You know what you should do? You know, if and when this gets full, you should have like an event where you fill this with maple syrup and make someone drink it.
How much maple syrup do you think you could consume? Like
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably the
It's
bucket.
It sounds easy, but
It's not.
It's not.
I appreciate your vote of confidence. I
You're
don't know
welcome.
about that though. I don't know how much tree blood a
So-
human being can consume at
So-
once.
Are you so pancakes, waffles, French toast, whatever it is? We're not gonna get into that debate, but filled with syrup, pouring it all.
Oh,
Now I get a sippy cup. We are
let's do it.
we are officially back. That was almost
Back.
that was almost
Antonio.
semi-bad.
Antonio messed up. Let's let the record
scary.
show.
Where'd my glasses go? I'm freaking
He just flew off your
Velma right
face.
now.
You can't see him.
Wait, you
Excuse me.
You don't. You don't need him anyway.
wait, you ran out to get like
Sorry, I will finish without him.
So I was really bored at the studio, and somebody had an M80.
Oh,
And so the basement of the studio was still it was still being constructed, like final touches. There was like a couple of rooms down there. And if you go into the basement of that building, it's like walls really, really close to each other, really narrow hallways, sound just free to bounce off of the wall. And it's just a tiny little space. And there was
concrete, a lot of
concrete, yeah, metal. It was like,
oof.
yeah, it was one of those. And
They
there
were
was,
rehearsal rooms. These are terrible, terrible acoustic rooms. They
yeah,
were, it's Ray's lawnmower shop. The guy is a lawnmower repair guy. So
yeah. Well,
he wasn't exactly designing the rooms very well for bands rehearsing.
but
Alright,
there
go ahead,
was
continue.
there was actually like a group of like 10 people in there having a smoke. I don't know, and they were listening to music. Some of them were like some of the guys that were they were rappers and some singers and just a whole mix of musicians in there. And I was like, I really need to do this. This is something I need to do. So
I need it.
So especially the basement wasn't finished. I was like, this is gonna be perfect. I'm gonna blow out my eardrum, and I didn't have a lighter, and I didn't let that stop me. So like I knocked on the door because I smelled the weed, so I knocked on the door, and I was like, you guys have a lighter? So they were like, yeah, sure, of course. I was like, yeah, no, I'll bring it back. I'm just gonna have a quick smoke outside. Like I'll bring it back. And so he comes out. He's sure, all right. Enjoy your session. The door closes, and I light the M80. And I put it right by their door, like right at their doorstep, and I book it like a bat out of hell, man. And I get like, I turn the corner, I run again like halfway up the stairs, like I'm being chased by a tiger, halfway up the stairs. You've never heard anything so loud in your life. I mean, it was like, like my pants almost flew off, right?
No.
And I was like, holy shit, that was so worth it. But I'm like, I need to see like what the aftermath is. Like I just asked them for those people knew that I used their lighter to light a firecracker in front of their room. So they came outside and they all looked like they had just seen a ghost. They're like, yo, man, you can't do that up in here.
Oh, they were fairly. I mean,
They were just like concussed or something.
Oh my god.
they're
Ears are
ringing like
ringing.
the fucking
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan. Like they don't know what's happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They were so disoriented. And I lit an M80 in the music
Are you
studio.
allowed back in there?
Yeah. Oh, because why not? Yeah,
To,
of course.
to
Yeah.
frame some context for this, there was one time we were all rehearsing in another room in the basement, and John, my brother, DJ Johnny Bombs, bing, he was late showing up, and we're sitting there like, where the fuck is this guy? Bing. He's just not showing up, so I'm texting him, and then he starts texting us, and he's like, I'm outside. I've been out here for like 10 or 15 minutes. They got Dave on the floor with their knee on his back. And they're pulling people out, and the SWAT team is going in.
Mm-hmm.
It was
What?
crazy because apparently there was a drug. Well, they did a lot of drugs in there, and it was drug dealers that were
Drug dealers.
There was drug dealers that were like basically living in there,
Yeah.
because it's it's not legal for them to live there. You can rehearse there, but like they're renting these rooms out for a month, and they're spending like $500 and they're like living there basically. Yeah. So the SWAT team went in, and like I was like, my brother's telling me this. I'm like, he's so full of shit. He's always late. You're always late, John. He's always late. I'm like, this is just the worst excuse. I open the door and I hear the friggin' SWAT
Helicopters
guy
and
coming
shit.
down. He's like, everybody stay in your room. We're coming down. I hear like walkie-talkie noises. This guy's coming down. He's got, I don't know, like a fucking M16 or something, or maybe a bazooka. I don't even know what he's got. All I remember is being frightened. I'm like, holy fucking shit. I slammed that door so hard. And then I slammed the inner door and locked it. I was like, we're stuck in here, guys. We're stuck. But this was like 1 or 2 doors down from where she lit the M80. So these guys that were in that room are maybe not the drug
Maybe
dealers
fuck
in
yourself.
question. So when they hear an M80 go off, they think like, holy shit, it's going down. Like it's on right now.
Yeah.
Like they thought they had to come out and start shooting people.
Oh no!
So
God.
yeah.
This
so
idiot's just there giggling like,
yeah. So I lit a firecracker in front of a door with a bunch of drug dealers with probably maybe I don't know guns.
yeah.
Well,
Well, that's a turbulent studio sesh.
Yes.
I wonder if they were making good music.
Obviously not.
Well,
All right, Danny, we're good on time.
I think
Yeah.
Tony's gonna have a nightmare of an edit.
He's
He's got so many bings and bongs.
and spills and matchups. That's all right.
Well, good luck, future Antonio.
It's all
This
right.
one's for you.
All right, you want to do this again?
Yeah, let's make sure everybody knows where to find you. Obviously we'll put all the links. In
So
the
you're gonna
doobly-doo.
lead them through it. Hopefully
Yes. So you can find me at Danny Moriarty on YouTube or dmore723 on Instagram. Bing.
You can find me specifically at Chris_DBC_MB on Instagram, which is really a mouthful. Or you can just find me at Manic Blue Band on Instagram or Dead by Choice on Instagram. Not really the subject of this, whatever. Or you can just find us at manicblueband.com.
Nice.
Yeah, well, my personal Instagram is machinegun_Marden, MARDEN. It's my last name. And Manic Blue Band. Find me on Facebook, Gabriella Joe.
What about you?
Oh, you good there? Oh, I didn't know if there was more. I didn't want to interrupt her, You can find me at Aunt Prisco. Can't forget to follow.
Picky Boys Podcast.
Also on
like,
Instagram.
subscribe, comment,
Bing.
share with your aunts and uncles, and go take a listen to that Manic Blue song.
Yeah, everything will be in the
Fucking do
description.
it.
You guys know where to go.
And super glue, I will try again for that moon. And when I return,